What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess, and I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy pick'em plays for Thursday, October 17th, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with the promo code DailyDog. That's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app and get that 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG, one word, 50% deposit match bonus. If you deposit $2,000, you get $1,000 for free. $100, you get $50 for free. $50, you get $25 for free. Whatever you deposit up to $2,000, you get 50% extra for free. If you've not signed up yet with Underdog, do it now. There's a lot of plus EV moves you can make on this pick'em site, especially when it's October and they're giving out boosts left and right. I'm giving out a bunch of slips today. Boost a couple of these things, and you'll be putting yourself in a really good spot. All right, it's football season, so you know how we do this. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I give out a Underdog slip for Thursday Night Football. I'm going to give you my final Thursday Night Football slip first, then I'm going to go back and revisit the ones that we gave out on Wednesday and Tuesday. Then I'm going to give you my Thursday MLB slip and my Thursday cross sport slip. And I will say that if you're on YouTube, you might notice I'm not in the familiar Underdog studio that I usually have at home. I am off in uncharted territory across the country. So hopefully the new visual look is interesting for the people who are watching this one on YouTube. All right, let's get going on this Saints Broncos game. All week I've been saying I think that the Broncos are going to have a real shot to destroy the Saints in this game. Just the injury report is not good for the Saints. Obviously the NFL, even the backups are good. And we've seen plenty of games over the years where the team that's very undermanned shows up in a big way. That said, a lot of injuries plus a rookie quarterback plus a bad head coach in Dennis Allen. It just really does not look good for the Saints, in my opinion. If you follow me anywhere else in any of the other podcasts, you know that I am all over the Broncos in this game. And no reason to really get off of them, to be honest, based on what we've seen leading up to this one. So let's get into that game plan. I think the Broncos are going to run roughshod over this team. Do you see the way the Bucs ran over this team? They had one running back, Buggy Irving, with 81 yards rushing, and then Sean Tucker had 131 yards rushing against this team. I'm taking both of the Broncos running backs to have higher than their yardage projections. So I'm taking Javonte Williams higher than 47.5 rushing yards and Jaleel McLaughlin higher than 22.5 rushing yards. The concern would be Audric Estime getting in there and kind of stealing yards from one or both of these guys. That said, Estime has been banged up. I think that he's going to have probably the shortest leash out there. And Javonte Williams could get to 47.5 yards before halftime. Jaleel McLaughlin is 2 carries away from 22.5. So I love using both of these guys. I know it seems a little bit crazy and it's kind of non-correlated, anti-correlated to have two guys that are going to be stealing yards from each other, potentially doing that. But I think that there's just going to be a lot of yards on the table for the Broncos in this game, which is a little crazy because they're not an offensive powerhouse by any means. I just think the Saints defense is in a ton of trouble right now, especially on a short week, especially when they're undermanned. So Javonte Williams higher than 47.5 rushing yards and Jaleel McLaughlin higher than 22.5 rushing yards. These numbers are very hittable for both of these guys. Then coming back on the other side, as I said, I think that the Broncos are going to be able to run away with this game to an extent. So if they're up, that means that the Saints are passing the ball quite a bit. If the Saints are passing the ball quite a bit, Bub Means is going to get involved. So Rashid Shaheed banged up, Chris Olave banged up. I don't think either of these guys is playing in this game today. If they're not playing, Bub Means becomes a major contributor to this team. He had 8 targets on Sunday when the Saints started to get into some injury trouble at the wide receiver position. So I think Means is going to have plenty of exposure here. And with that being said, he can get higher than 33.5 receiving yards, no problem. He's kind of a big play guy. Honestly, 4 catches, which is what his projection is. 4 catches, he's higher than 33.5 receiving yards, no problem. So these 3 plays together, Javonte Williams higher than 47.5 rushing yards, Jaleel McLaughlin higher than 22.5 rushing yards, Bub Means higher than 33.5 rushing yards. It's a 5.4x multiplier. All right, let's quickly look at what we did yesterday. So yesterday we put in Bo Nix higher than 187 yards passing. I know that I'm taking rushing and passing over it, but the Bo Nix number was too low, and it's now up to 193.5, which is kind of getting to the upward limit of where I would play this. I'd say like 194.5, 195 flat is the highest I would play. Bo Nix is higher. And again, it's juiced up. I think it was like 181 when this thing first opened early in the week. So I like Bo Nix higher than 193.5. Obviously, not as much as I liked it at 187.5. Spencer Rattler higher than 20.5 rushing yards. It's now 21.5. Again, I don't think that 1 yard is consequential. I obviously, like the lower number because it's easier to hit that, but it's not the end of the world. And again, Rattler, his number was actually 22.5 on open, and then it got bet down, and now it's back up to 21.5. I think it's still good, basically all the way up to 24.5, 25.5, but really love it at 20.5. Then Kamara to score a touchdown is the same. So it's still a 6x slip like we gave out yesterday. The only big difference is that Bo Nix's rushing or passing yards is kind of getting into a position where I don't really want to play it anymore. And then Rattler's rushing yards is still fine, even though it's gone up a yard. All right, let's keep going. The slip we gave out Tuesday, we actually got a lot of value on. So on Tuesday, we gave out Alvin Kamara lower than 111.5 rushing yards, rushing plus receiving yards, so combined total yards for him. It's now 108.5, so 3 yards lower than the total when we gave it out a couple of days ago. That said, I think that honestly, there's a good chance Kamara is under 100 yards rushing and receiving this game. 1, he's banged up. 2, short week. 3, Sean Payton. I think he's an overrated coach, but I think he's still a coach that can shut things down when he's a guy who can shut things down when you know exactly who you're going to. When there's one kind of focal point on that offense, he can have that defense focus on Alvin Kamara, and this defense has been a little bit better than people thought they would be. Then Spencer Rattler, also from Tuesday, higher than half interception. I still think he's going to throw a pick in this game. He's a young guy playing from behind. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for him to throw an interception. Then the last one, Courtland Sutton, higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. I just think that Bo Nix is getting comfortable with the NFL-style jump ball in the red zone and the end zone, and Courtland Sutton is amazing at that, as evidenced by his catch last week. So if there's a little bit of confidence from Bo Nix with Courtland Sutton, it could go a long way for him to score a touchdown. When we gave this out, it was a 10.47x multiplier. Now it's 9.13x. Still okay, but not as good as it once was, obviously. But again, that slip from Tuesday is Alvin Kamara, lower rushing plus receiving yards. Spencer Rattler, higher than 0.5 interceptions. And Courtland Sutton, higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. All right, let's do our MLB slip for today next. So I think that the Guardians are going to get back into this series in Game 1 in Cleveland against Clarke Schmidt. I think Clarke Schmidt's pretty good. He's had a really good season, pretty good postseason so far. That said, higher than 1.5 earned runs allowed. I think one of the big bats for this Guardians team is going to hit a home run against him. And I think there's going to be someone on base when that happens. So give me Clarke Schmidt, higher than 1.5 earned runs against the Guardians today. I've taken Jose Ramirez, higher than 1.5 total bases. I think he's got a good shot to go yard. I think he's got a good shot to hit a double. I think he's got a good shot to hit a couple singles. There's a lot of ways for Jose to get here. And again, Jose Ramirez is the engine for this Guardians team. I think they're going to win this game. If they're going to win this game, he's going to be contributing probably more than 1.5 bases. He's going to get a couple bags in this game. Next one, Josh Naylor, hot. Two hits last game. Josh Naylor, higher than 0.5 total bases. I just think it's too low for a guy who's been hot this postseason. He's got enough contact to get this thing done. Obviously, he's batting 4th or 5th in the lineup most days, so he's the cleanup guy, quote unquote. But I think that he can still get it done with a single here. Postseason is different, and again, I think that Clarke Schmidt doesn't really scare me. I don't think he's going to shut down this lineup. So, give me Naylor to get half a total base. Give me Jose Ramirez higher than 1.5 total bases, and then give me Clarke Schmidt higher than 1.5 earned run allowed. Obviously, these plays are quite correlated, so it's a 3.3x multiplier, a little bit reduced there. If you want to get crazy, you can go with the flex slip, and that's actually not going crazy. That's a little bit more conservative. If you think it just goes 2 out of 3, get some money back that way. All right, let's go to the crossed sport slip. My guy, Thomas Castellanos, quarterback for Boston College. Boston College is playing at Virginia Tech. I think Boston College is a better team than Virginia Tech just in general, and it's because Castellanos is a better quarterback than Kyron Drones. I know Virginia Tech has kind of hit a high watermark in the last couple of weeks. They had that game that was stolen from them against Miami. Then they went out there and put on a show against Stanford up at the farm. But again, I think Thomas Castellanos is going to be able to run in this game, so higher than 36.5 rushing yards, no problem. Just think about the Vanderbilt game. Diego Paiva was able to get some big plays against this team. Castellanos is a little bit more athletic than Paiva, maybe not a better true. He's a better runner than Paiva. Paiva just somehow gets stuff done in unexpected ways. Next, we're going to go to Alex Ovechkin, higher than half of a point. The old man for the Capitals. This Capitals team's actually been a little bit impressive to me already offensively this season. They're not as old and slow as they were last year, and I think Ovechkin has plenty of opportunities to get a point on the board via a goal or an assist. Last one, Bayshul Tuten, a running back from Virginia Tech, lower than 93.5 rush yards. I think Bill O'Brien is going to have his team schemed to shut down Tuten, make drones try to beat them. I don't think that's going to work. So lower than 93.5 rush yards. This is a 4.92x multiplier. All right, good luck with all your slips today. Let's make some money.